Recording is in progress. Good evening, y'all. This is Platoon. Evenings and weekends, India Platoon. I am Jordan. Today, we'll be covering deploying to AWS. Today, we're going to see how we can take our local web application and move it to the actual web. We'll do that by setting up an AWS account, creating and launching an EC2 instance with proper access configuration, security, group rules, creating key pair, set up SSH access for your GitHub account on your EC2, clone down and run people getter to application. If you've not done already, please sign up here. Hopefully, we continue to use AWS because you get 12 months of use for free. We'll see. We're having some issues with that already. Uh, we'll dig into those issues as we get there. What we're mainly working with today is EC2. It's like renting a small computer. Um, there's a lot to go here. Ultimately, it's like renting a small computer or a larger computer. We're going to be renting a very small computer today because we don't need it to do too much. We just need it to run a little baby application. Um, there are a few steps to it. It's not bad, I say. There's a lot of text here, and there's a lot of steps. And some of these things are going to be new to you. You can break these all down into kind of one-off things. And honestly, most of this page here is just setting up an SSH key pair uh, and then getting that pair onto the EC2 instance. Um, that is a separate, that's just a way we're going to go about deploying. And we'll talk about these things. So once you have created your AWS account, which I'm not going to walk through that, it's simple enough. But I have created one, I have signed in, and I am treated to all the junk I've messed with. And AWS's gorgeous UI. It looks like a lot, and it looks intimidating, and it looks disorganized. If you feel that way, I agree with you. Um, I think there's a lot on the page all at once, and it can get a little tricky. Uh, but things move around every now and then. You can spot them. We'll be looking for one small thing. We don't need to interact with every single thing here on the page. Uh, just getting it out there. AWS has kind of a wild UI. Uh, for launching a server, once we are logged in, we're going to search for EC2. I have it here because it's recently visited, but if it wasn't, I'd click top left, AWS, and just kind of thumb through. Oh gosh, why is that? I don't want to see it recently visited. Perhaps all services? There we go. These are all the services, roughly, that AWS provides. We are interested in EC2. That's it. Don't worry about all these other things right now. Not today. We only care about EC2 instances. So once we've clicked on that, it's going to treat us to the EC2 home page. A lot of stuff on the page. I think a lot of these things you can kill off if you're not too interested in them. Maybe some of them. Um, you'll see all the resources I am currently using. I might have more than you because I might have some security groups and key pairs set up. That's not a problem. What's more important is the EC2 instances, parentheses running. I have none running, and that's okay because we're going to launch one. Once we're at the EC2 instance page, we're going to hit launch instance. Here it is. We're going to give this EC2 instance a name. We are naming this computer, this little machine that we've been given. I'm going to call it lecture instance. From there, we need to select the free tier, which normally is the T2 micro free tier. This is all great. Amazon Linux. Here is the kernel we'll be using. I'm not going to change any of that. Architecture seems good. I will create a new key pair. They changed this a little bit out of order. We're going to create a key pair right now because we're going down the page. It's a little out of order from the lecture, but as we scroll down the page, key pair is a new thing. Does anyone know what a key pair is?
Public and private keys for security.
Yes. All it is you create this, what word am I looking for? This encrypted key in a file. It's going to have a friend, a public key that works with it. It's basically like this. You created the private key, and that's giving you access to anyone who's got that public key. You give that public key to someone else, and now if they offer you the public key, it matches your private key, they're allowed in. It is a you create two things. The lock is the private, and then the key is the public. And you can get as many keys as you want, but someone has to have that key to get in. I'm going to call it, just for the sake of not mix it up with my other keys, lecture key. We'll leave it in .pem format. Create key pair. It will download that immediately, and we'll keep going. Oh, I did scooch past this. Sorry, this UI is always going to throw me off. We want the T2 micro free tier. Am I still eligible for the T2?
It looked
T2.
like tier two is not on the free one.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
this
like right
is
there where it says free tier eligible. So I just
Oh,
set mine to tier three.
okay. Well, I need to update the lecture. Yeah, I didn't notice that when I was walking through it. Yeah, things change. All right, let's use the T3 micro. For those of you who have not been able to use the T2, are you able to get to the T3?
Yeah, I can get to the T3, but when I go to create it, it says that I've got a cap. It's the thing I posted in Slack earlier.
Yeah, it says you're only allowed to use one.
Yeah, BCP limit of one.
Interesting. Well, for the sake of getting through this, we're not going to need to, well, we will run it for a little bit.
So the T2 micro is not free tier no more. It doesn't use that.
Apparently
Oh, I
not.
guess not. Huh.
I'm trying to read the differences here. And I wonder why at T2, I'm seeing free tier eligible for a T3, which is larger than a T2. There's so many here. For the sake of the lecture, I'm going to go to a T3 dot micro. We're going to create that key pair, and we'll talk about it when we get there. And we also need to establish network traffic. So we are standing up this instance. This is a machine. We've decided, hey, I want this machine to be a Linux machine. Don't freak out if you don't have Linux machines, y'all. It's not going to be that much different. I want this instance type. This is the sizing I need for this. I'm going to create a key pair. So if someone needs to get into this machine, namely me, I got a key that'll let me in. And now I'm going to
Jordan, what
create, yep,
machine image AMI were you using? Sorry, I was trying to get caught up here.
I let it default to where it was,
Okay,
6.1
6.1.
AMI.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too pressed on
Okay.
this. for the network settings, we're going to have uh, uh, we got to keep air for us to get in, but for any public traffic that wants to come in, we are going to have to set up some network settings. What we're going to do, allow SSH traffic from, we're going to do my IP, and also select allow HTTP traffic from the internet. So allow SSH traffic from my IP, allow HTTP traffic from the internet. Once we're good there, we're going to launch the instance. The button is over here. We're only launching one. We can set up replicas. We're not going to do that. Launch. It is spinning up, probably. We can get there a few different ways. We can click this hash of our instance here. Or we can even go to instances and see the list of all my running instances. There it is. This is lecture instance. Here's the instance ID. Instance is running. There's the instance type. Cool, cool, cool. Great. If we want to get more details, you got to click on the hyperlink, which will open up a little bit more stuff. A lot of hoopla, but some of this is important to us. And we'll see what's next. We got, all right, so one thing that I noticed while walking through this, what we're trying to deploy is People Getter. Where did I, there it is. The People Getter 2 app. That's what we want to deploy. That's our plan for the day. I'm going to go yank that. So Platoon, repositories, I'm going to search people. There's People Getter 2. Follow that bad boy. I'm going to fork it, I guess. May as well. I think I already have a fork of it. Maybe it's gonna, let's do that to make sure I don't mess it up. So this is my cool little fork of this repo that should be ready to go. Mostly ready to go. I'm going to clone that down. And here it is. People Getter. What we're going to need to do, this application is going to be fetching from localhost. The one thing we're going to need to change that we couldn't do before now is we're going to need to set its request URL, the base URL, to the public IPv4 address of our EC2 instance. It's going to need to know that EC2 instance's public IPv4. This is not a super normal, this is just the way this simple app was written. To be able to talk to itself, we need to give it its own IP address, which is right here, right in the middle, right at the top. I'm going to copy this little guy here. And where it wants that is within front end and then within app.js, right here at the top. We got a base URL. I'm going to paste it right there. And if you don't do this beforehand, that's okay. We can fix it once it's on the instance, but I like to get it done now. I do want to commit this. Updated IP address. Lovely. Following the lecture, we also need our EC2, allow your EC2 server to accept traffic on port 8000. Let's do that now. Allowing traffic on port 8000. From the detail view of your EC2 instance, click on the Security tab. Well, this is the detail view. If we scroll down a little bit, we've got some tabs. We have the Security tab. Cool, cool, cool. Where to go from here to set up more security groups? We have to click on this hyperlink to see our security groups. I feel like there could be a more straightforward way to get there. This is the way it's going to do it. So here are our security groups that are set up and configured already out of the box. What we need to do for this particular application is open up port 8000 for traffic. Click on the security group link. In this example, yours is not going to be that. It's going to be something different, but you know, it is that hyperlink. Click to edit inbound, goodness, rules, and then add rule. So we look at our inbound rules, edit inbound rules, add a rule. From there, allow all traffic from anywhere. This is not very secure, but this is fine for now. We could specify exactly where we want things to be able to be reached from on the internet publicly. I want you all to be able to see this today. So I'm opening up to everything. So we're going to select, in this new rule we created, all traffic. Might have to scroll around to find it. It is there. Source anywhere. This will be fine. We're going to save the rules. Donezo. We've added a rule to our security group. I'm going to pause. Does anyone have a question about what we have done to this point?
Yeah, where's the link for that repo, the people getter?
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was in the lecture. I don't know how that ended up getting out of here. If you go, it's one of the repos in our organization. If you go to Platoon Evenings and Weekends, it'll take you to our homepage of this org. If you go to repositories, you'll see all the repositories. You can then search through our repositories and find people getter 2. I can post this in Slack to be helpful, but that's how I found it.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep. Any others? I just closed. Ooh, who knows the command to open a tab you just closed? Is it Option Shift T? No.
Control Shift T.
Is it Control Shift T?
Yep.
I think so.
Command Shift T. Great. I didn't even know this was a thing until very recently. And I was like, man, how have I gone my entire life without knowing you can reopen something? Okay. High level. We need a machine out in the ether running our application for people to be able to hit it. Through the power of AWS, we are creating a small server using their EC2 instance. I don't know what EC2 means. What does EC2? It doesn't really matter.
Elastic.
I think it is elastic, but I don't even know if that's
compute cloud. There
you go.
Elastic compute cloud.
Yeah. Very, very cute. All right. Yeah. EC2 instance. If it helps you to remember what it is, what it's called, that's what it is. Elastic compute Elastic Compute Cloud, great. From there, we've selected a Linux image because Linux is the best OS. This is the architecture we shall use. We're going to allow SSH traffic. This is different than what we just set up. We've got like internet traffic. SSH is something else that we talked a little bit about. I think we'll cover it more specifically here in just a sec. But this is going to allow me to hop onto this machine specifically, onto the machine. This is going to let me into the EC2 instance itself. This computer that I'm standing up in the ether, I'm going to be able to get onto that computer in my terminal. Just like when we exec into a Docker image, that's what we're going to do for this instance. I'm going to exec SSH onto it, and I'll be within it. And then I can do whatever I want. Once it's up there and running and I'm in it, I can do whatever I want, right? We're all Linux gurus here. We can do whatever we want once I've got that connection. We created a security group to open up this application to anyone on the internet who knows the IP. Not super safe, but fine for this. Continuing on. We're going to configure this server. We have to get onto that server. This is the part we're going to be using SSH. Secure shell. It's secure shell, right? Yeah, secure shell. All that is, like when we Docker exec into something, it's giving us shell access, the shell being, this is my bash shell, born again shell, my terminal access to my machine. This is giving us remote access into this remote computer's terminal, into its brains, into the shell, the way we interact with the machine without the mouse. How are we going to do that? Sometimes passwords work. Sometimes you configure it so you don't need a password. We have that key pair that we got earlier. This one here that downloaded, lecturekey.pem. I am going to move that. Let me open up a second one real quick. Downloads, ls, lart, there it is. So I got lecturekey.pem. This is all I need. This is the public one. The private one exists on that EC2 instance already. I'm going to move this just to my home because is that really a good spot for it? Let's move it to where I'm working over here. What did I call it? What command did I run? Oh, I already moved it. There it is. Lecture key. We're going to move the lecture key just to this other folder. Doesn't really matter where you put it. I'm putting it somewhere useful so we know where it's at. Within, this is probably not the safest place for this because we don't want to commit this to our repo, but there's my lecture key. What does it look like? This is what it often looks like. This is a key pair. This is very normal. Oh, this is the private key. This is going to let me in to this instance. We don't need to look at all that. That's just what an RSA key kind of looks like. I've done some copy and pasting with these before. They're actually not as complicated as they look. It's just a mesh of junk. We're going to use that to get access to this machine. Back to this UI. I'm lost. What in the tarnation? Is my instance not running? It is. So back on the EC2 instance page, because I got lost in the UI, all I did was follow EC2. Here's my instance that's running. going to go to it. And I am going to SSH onto it. The way I'm going to do that is by hitting this connect button. This isn't going to really connect me. It's going to lead me to ways to connect to it. We're going to use SSH client. And it's just giving me instructions, basically. Open an SSH client. Done. I have a terminal. It knows what SSH is. Locate your private key file. The key used to launch this instance is lecturekey.pem. That's the one that I created. That's it. Lecturekey.pem. Located. Step 3. Run this command if necessary to ensure your key is not publicly viewable. I'm going to run it anyways. Change mode of operation 400 lecturekey.pem. Does everyone know their octal binary numbers? Very important. You got a funny story about how that's super not important at all. But so I'm just gonna 400 is the same as read for the user. Sorry, this is our users. Read, cannot write, cannot execute. The group cannot read, cannot write, cannot execute. All users cannot read, cannot write, cannot execute. Why is that important? SSH keys are very picky about their operation, their security. It needs to be 400. 4 is R. 0 is blank. 0 is blank. That's the 400. Doesn't matter, though. You don't need to know that number. Just know that 400 is the same as saying, hey, read only for the users. I'm getting into it. We don't need to super get into it. Just copy this and run this. This is going to make the key the right security level. And then connect to your instance using its public DNS. This is my public DNS. Yours will be different. I don't like step 4 because what you really need is the example, command copied, which you can bring directly over here. And wherever your lecture key is, notice this command here. Let me explain what this is saying. SSH, I want you to secure shell -I, which of course stands for file. I want you to secure shell in using this file, this key, this lecturekey.pem. Yours might be something different. I named mine lecturekey.pem. I want you to form a secure shell using this key. You're going to go to this place. You're going to be the EC2 user at, this is the name of my EC2 instance. So secure shell as this user here. When you do that, use this key to get in. If the example is correct and I've got my key where it's supposed to be, I should be able to get in. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Of course I'm sure. I get a cute little Linux thing, a bird, Amazon, Linux. Look at this. I am no longer Jordan West on Jordan's piece of crap Mac Mini. I am now EC2 user at this IP. That IP is this instance here. I don't know quite which one that's going to match up with. There it is. 172.311.918, 172.311.918. That's the private IPv4 address for my EC2 instance. This is the machine that's running. This instance of an EC2 instance, this one here, this lecture instance, this machine running in the ether that I said we were going to create and stand up, I'm on it. I've let myself in and I am on that machine. I'm no longer on my terminal. I am a layer in. It's inception. I went into my terminal and now I'm in another terminal. But this is the remote instance. This is no shit. This machine running in the ether, that's right here. Any questions about that?
You can connect to it to the UI itself as well too. Like if you're having that troubles SSH into it.
Yeah, there are a few different options to get into it. I want to do it this way because we're going to do some specific things, but there's no wrong way. If you can accomplish the things you want to do through their remote UI, then do it that way. Uh, this is a little bit more close to things that we've done before, hopefully. What's important is I'm in control of this instance. I'm here. I can do whatever nasty thing I want to do on it. And what nasty thing I want to do is put my app on there. This application uses Docker to stand it up. It's Docker Compose. We got a little start all SSH script. It's going to do some Docker things, start API, start front end. I promise you it's at the end of the day. Oh, it's actually, is it just Docker? There's no Docker. It's going to start all these things. Don't worry about it. It is going to spin this app up using Docker. But this is a brand new machine, effectively. This was just created. It doesn't have Docker on it. It doesn't know anything about Docker. It's just got whatever Linux comes with. We are going to use yum. This is a package installer for Linux. We're going to install Git, which we need, and Docker. You're going to do some other things. Don't worry about it. Copy, install Git and Docker. This should go fairly quick. They're not terrible. I've got some things commented out that I can now get rid of, but for posterity, you used to have to install Docker Compose separately from Docker. It was a plugin. It is no longer a plugin. It comes with modern Docker. If anyone's curious what that commented out stuff is. Once that's done, all we're going to do is very manual. We're going to clone our repo down into this EC2 instance, which sounds great. That's an easy way to get it there. But getting that repo onto that instance is a little trickier. When you want to clone something from GitHub, how do you do it?
Git clone and then the HTTPS address.
Yeah. I don't know that HTTP is going to be the way we do this. Let me just see. I haven't even tried.
I'm assuming with this one, we're going to use the SSH key instead.
I wonder what happens if we don't. I think it's probably not going to be able to be hit by this. So if I do HTTPS, let's see what happens. Git clone blop username jwest. That's not my username. Doesn't like that. Invalid username or token. Is that true? Someone else, if anyone's gotten to that point, I'm curious. I think there might be basically some issues with the connection that's allowed to be sent through this EC2 instance, which is not a problem, by the way, because this HTTPS stinks. I don't want to put my password in every time. I can mess that up. That's not easy to script. I'm lazy. You may have seen in the past when Jordan does it, he's got an SSH key. Remember our key pair from earlier? We're going to do that same thing, except we got to create it ourselves. Is it easy and straightforward? I think so, but explaining it is not easy and straightforward. But I'm going to try. Ultimately, I'm going to generate a new key. I'm going to take that key and go to my personal GitHub account, and I'm going to put it on there. Let me get it. We'll step through it together. I don't want to get too far ahead. But once that key is associated with my user account, if I have the public key, the key, not the lock, the key, I can clone through SSH no problem. That's what I'm going to try and do. Feel free to set this up for yourself and just use SSH now for cloning instead of HTTPS. Let me, oh, I don't want it horizontal. Stop that. Squish this out of the way for now. I'm in my home directory. Seems good. Running this command here, ssh keygen -t rsa -b4096, yada, yada, yada. I can even keep my name at gmail.com. Doesn't really matter. You can put, this is just going to be the name of the key. We don't have to worry about all these commands here. It's basically the size of the key, what type you want it to be. Don't worry too much about it. Enter file in which to save the key. Notice this is going to users, my user, .ssh. This is a folder that exists that's hidden at the root, or sorry, the home directory. And it wants to call it ID_RSA. Not a problem for any of you to just hit enter if you don't already have one of these. I know for a fact I do have one. I'm going to call mine lecture RSA just so I don't get it borked. Enter passphrase. Empty for no passphrase. Every single time I'm going to hit enter. I'm not typing in a passphrase. Enter same passphrase again. Enter. Nonsense. Random key art nonsense. I don't care. Let's go here and see what we got. As mentioned earlier, I do have, oh, that's old, isn't it? Yes. I've got an ID RSA already that existed. Hey, where did my thing go? It didn't put it where it was supposed to put it. So mine's still here on the home directory. That's okay. My lecture RSA and my lecture RSA.pub. I'm going to move those to where they belong in my SSH directory. There they are. Good. So I've got the private, which is this big ugly thing. And then I've got the public, which is a lot smaller and easier. This is the one I'm interested in. I'm going to copy the whole daggum thing and proceed to the next steps. In GitHub, go to your GitHub profile. Is it edit profile? They move this stuff around. Settings. Look at all this, all Jordan settings. Over here, SSH and GPG keys. That sounds like a good place to put my key. I've already got two keys here, new RSA M1, and then one I called whatever, I don't care. That's these things are free. You saw I just generated one, whatever. New SSH key is where I'm going to put this new key. Title. This is the key for the lecture. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that I paste in this public bit here from the public key that I created, my lecture RSA.pub that I created from the SSH keygen command. That's going to go in here. And I'm going to add it. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Now it's here in my list of SSH keys. It's never been used. That makes sense. I haven't done anything with it, but it's here now. If you didn't change the name of yours, actually, probably won't matter. At this point, you should be good. If you want to go clone people getter to whatever your fork of it, you could use that SSH option, and is going to run through your list of SSH keys and find one that works and build a pull. but I don't want to pull it locally. We're doing all this so we can get it onto this instance. So there's some lazy ways to go about this. I've got them both open here. Let me see. Within the .ssh, keys here, I could probably do something like this and just paste it in there. Paste the actual key. That might work. We might run into some weird things. That's not this. It's fine. Ultimately, I just need these two files, lecture RSA and lecture RSA pub. I need them here. If we can SSH into a machine, then we can also send stuff to it. We can copy to it. We can pull things from it. That's what we're going to use. There is a uh, software, I don't know what the word I would call this. It's a bash command, SCP. That is basically shell copy. We are going to do pretty much the same thing. We're going to run this SSH command that we did earlier, but instead of SSHing and then being on it, we're going to just copy a file over. And the command is going to look fairly similar. Hey, copy that file over, use this key. These are what I'm copying over. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. That's all the same. The one difference is I need to tell it where I'm putting those things. So we should probably be able to copy this entire command here. And we're going to need this PEM file here as well. So this is assuming all of these things are in the same place. An easy way for me to, did I close down that? Oh, I gotta go find it. India. Where'd my key go? I left it in front of it. Okay. There's that lecture key. This is the one that AWS gave me. I'm gonna need that to get in. For the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna move it to my SSH directory. I know there's a lot of junk here. What's important? Hello? Oh no, am I dropping out? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. These are the key pairs I'm trying to put onto my EC2 instance. These two, these RSA keys. This is the key that will give me access to that instance. Using this command, I'm going to have to make some small changes because that command is assuming some things. scp-i, what is the name of my .pem file? It's right here.
Lecture. Yeah.
Lecture t.pem. The keys I wish to copy over, well, these are actually called lecture RSA and lecture RSA pub. All of this stuff looks good, except this is not the name of my instance. I've got this instead. So did I? All right, cool. Oh, did I? .compute, .compute. Okay, we're good. Secure copy using my PEM key these two files. Oh, I didn't need to go over there. I had it right here. Go become EC2 user at that EC2 instance and paste it to that SSH directory. Did I mess up? Did I jack that up? If so, how? Hmm. Should just be these. Try again. What in the heck is going on? I think this SCP command is not quite right. Uh, is that because is there something wrong here? Oh. Oh, I used the wrong connection to get in. I made a bad assumption. What's important is to SSA or SCP in the same way we SSH'd. When we looked at um, when we went to connect, when we went to SSH, this is where I need to SSH into. I got caught up around this IP. That is not correct. If I use this, connect to your instance using its public DNS, I'll probably be A-OK. There it goes. Yep. The SSH and SCP connection are going to the same place. They need to be this. If you forget what that was, it was in the SSH client connection option. Did they show up where they're supposed to? They sure did. In my EC2 instance, these files are here. Locked down, they look good. I should now mostly, I might have got ahead of myself. There's one last step. There is an SSH agent. This is like a process that's running that allows SSH to do some things. This is going to need to be ran, I believe, either locally or on your EC2 instance if you want to. This is start SSH agent. PID is running. Great. Then we're going to SSH add our ID RSA. Mine's going to be lecture RSA. Cool. Added. SSH is configured. We've got these keys. We should be able to clone my instance now. Or sorry, clone my repository. Yeah, clone. Try it again. Yes. Holy moly, it's there. People get her too. Spinning up the containers. Nothing crazy. We're just going to run this script. We've already got Docker running. So hop into people get her too. Start the script. Start all sh. Let it go. And now we're going to find out if we connected everything right. This instance is up there. It is running. This app is starting. Once it's up, we should be able to hit it. This little M3, T3, whatever machine is about as weak as my current machine, so it's going to take exactly as long to spin this up. Doctor, P.S. Woo, we got stuff up. If this is all running properly, we should be able to visit it. Where do we go? Well, looking at my EC2 instance, I should be able to visit this public IPv4 address. With one exception. If I hit this, it's probably going to fail. Can't be reached. Well, the reason for that is I didn't open up secure access. This is regular old HTTP. You see what I did there? I know it just shows the IP address, but if you double click on it, it's actually trying to go to a secure version. If I go to the public version, and Jordan hooked it up all right, ayo! You will see, hopefully. Can y'all hit this? Or did I open it up properly? I read it. Maybe you won't be able to hit it. No, because I locked it down to just my IP. But I can probably fix that. I posted it in Slack. Can y'all verify you can't go there? If you can, I'm going to be a little confused.
I think we can access it because earlier we allowed all ports in the firewall.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah, I can access them.
no way. All right. Well, great. Oh, I set up SSH from me. Okay. Yeah, good. Great. You all can do this. And as you see, I mean, it's a working application. It's just a list of people. It's just a people getter. It pulls specific people. Crazy. I know, not the most sexy app in the world, but by God, it's running. If I put a bullet through my machine right now, this doesn't stop. This continues to run. And after running for like 100 hours, it's going to start charging me like a nickel a day or something. There is an assignment here. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to deploy PeopleGetter 2. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Step through this lecture and deploy PeopleGetter 2. This can be hard to follow. Believe me, the first time I had to do this, I had never deployed to AWS in Platoon. We used to use, oh, I don't even remember what it's called anymore. Doesn't matter. I'll think of it in a bit. But it was basically a wrapper for AWS. It was something that sat over AWS and made it a little bit easier to interact with. It's not free anymore. We directly connect to AWS, and it's fine. But walking through this can be a little complicated. It's very easy to miss a step, but all of the steps are here. If you get stuck, you can ask me for help, of course, but what I would always recommend is just take a few steps back and verify you did what you're supposed to do. It's very easy to mess this up. The complicated part isn't even like the hard part is not doing the majority of what we're doing. The hard part, where I could see you getting a little lost, is setting up SSH keys for GitHub. Some of you, I bet, have already done this and don't even have to think about it. It's not a big deal. But all that is doing is allowing us to clone directly into this instance with that key. That's a very small part of it. The big part's not too bad. We stand up an EC2 instance, giving it, some requirements. telling it how big we want it, what we want it to be. We set up some rules for logging into it, and we give ourselves a key to SSH onto it. We clone down a repo, we started it, it runs. High level, not a real complicated thing. This is about as simple as a deploy as I can imagine, honestly. Well, we're pulling rather than pushing, but like stand up, tiny instance, set networking for it, hop onto it, pull a repo into it, start it up, and let it go. If I hop out of this instance, by the way, it doesn't stop. That was just me, Docker's still running. If I go back onto there, no, I'm in the wrong spot. If I hop onto there, Docker is still going to be, making nasty, doing its thing. Oh, goodness, come on. It is. This app's not going anywhere if I leave this. Like I said, my computer is no longer necessary. I'm no longer doing anything. I secure shelled access. I exec'd in, if you want to use the word exec. I hopped onto this machine, did some stuff, started an app, and I'm out. This application is still running in AWS. It's still serving. You're still going to be able to reach this as long as I keep this instance up. When I'm good and done with it, I can just go to instance state. I could stop the instance. I could terminate the instance, which I will do now just to show it off. Yeah. Skip it. I don't care. That's free. I can create another one in a few seconds. I've already showed you all how I can. It'd be easy to do again. I don't care about this little instance. It's ephemeral. I'll create another one. Are there any questions at a high level of what I've done here today?
So for if we don't have the free tier anymore, because I tried, no matter what I try to do, it somehow can remember. Like I tried making different accounts and stuff like that, but it still remembers either by email or even a card if I got access to AWS, and it won't give me free tier. So like I have to create like a whole new email or a whole new everything and use a new card in order to get free tier. And I think I might do that. I just didn't know that that it tracked everything, from your email to your name to your credit card to all that in order
Yeah,
to get free tier.
I have had to fuss with that in the past. This is like the fourth account I've made because it gets borked. Or I leave my instance running way too long and then I don't have any more free time. Uh, you might have to create a new fresh account, but I'll have to dig into that with you guys on an individual basis.
Okay. Because I
Well,
think you have to use a different card as well too. Like you can't even use the same card because it'll track it by the card. So I try
Interesting.
to use because I was using a different email, so I created a whole new email just so that way it couldn't track me. But I don't like to use my regular debit card because I accidentally left something running one time and I got charged and I was like, what the heck? And then I heard about these crypto scams that are happening. They're like stealing or hacking AWS accounts and then using the compute resources to run
Hmm.
like some crypto stuff. Then I got paranoid with that. So I use a Visa debit card and um like a prepaid credit card. So that way if it does go over, it's just on my credit card and I could charge it, whatever.
I
Um,
well, while I'm not telling you, don't worry, it'll all be fine. I will point this out. These are going to be very short-term lived instances.
Gotcha.
There's not going to be anyone able to crack into these and do anything meaningful with your, 1 gig of memory in one CPU, whatever. Like we're not farming any crypto on these bad boys. What
Nice.
people are doing is hopping onto massive clusters with a lot of computing resources and tapping into that. This
Okay,
would
gotcha.
this would be like way, way worse than like trying to use your phone to mine crypto. So I think we're probably safe for people trying to steal our little test instances. Not to tell you
Okay.
that nothing possibly could happen, but we're probably okay. We're standing up little toys. Um,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
we're taking them down. If you leave it running, you're going to get emails, you're going to get texts saying, "Hey, you're about to run out," and we're going to stop it
Okay,
at the end of class, anyways. The only time we're
All
going to leave
right.
them running is
awesome.
like individual project, group project time. They might be on for like a week, but we're not going to get anywhere near those limits.
Okay, gotcha.
Jose, I'm pretty sure if you do a new account, it'll work because I like literally just while you were talking, made a new account, used a different credit card, used a different email, used a different phone number, and now it's working like it should be.
Okay, yeah, so
So
you have to use the new everything, right? Basically.
yeah. So
Okay.
Can
go to
you just
Walmart, buy a burner phone, all 9 yards,
Okay.
I'll
or
post
just
my
take one
debit.
out of your closet.
Yeah, I can post my debit card info in Slack if you guys just promise just to use it for this.
Yeah, just send the security code to my DMs, please. I'll guess the zip code.
Okay, swear.
Or tonight.
Oh man. All right. Man, I'm still recording. We'll stop.